Hey there guys, how's it going? What I've decided to do, like I said on my Facebook post, is I'm going to do a series of short videos based solely around the dashboard that you guys have got. If you're watching this and you're thinking, what dashboard is that? It's a dashboard you can see on your screen now. If you'd like a copy of it in its raw format with open formula cells so you can change it to suit your own company and your own desires, then just send me a PM either through Facebook or through this video link, through the links down below, and I will send it to you. Quite a lot of you have had it already, and people from my LinkedIn page are also requesting it, so I'm quite busy. And what has come from that is one or two have said, how do I change this, how do I change that? Now what I don't want to be doing is to responding individually to say the same thing. So I thought what would be better and even more informative is to show you a quick video on how to do it, so you can actually see how to do it. But not only that, because you could find the information on the internet, but it's better if it's relevant to the page that you're actually looking at, and you don't have to figure out then which cell you're going to put anything in. So today we're going to talk about data validation. Okay, so we're going to look at how to where to put the data and where to tell Excel to find the information from. So in your spreadsheet you'll see there is a tab called tables for drop down list data, and you look in there and you think, what in the thunder is all that? Right, well that's just, it's untidy because it is a beta version, but it's got information in, and this is where the drop down list will get their information from. There is I think there's one exception at the end, is the user data list, and there's one there for that. Well, it can all go onto the same page, and it probably will do when I get to tidying this thing up, because my main thing is I want to tidy this up and make it look a bit more appealing and attractive, because it's not as good looking as a lot you see on the internet. But we will get there. This is a beta version, and some of you guys might think, I know how to do that. Then if you do, let me know and we'll change it together. Okay, so let's get on to the video, because I'm good at digressing. So we've got a tab here that says tables for drop down list data. So that's basically does what it says on the tin. So if we pick, let's say, risk assessment log, and you'll see you've got sites 1 to 16. I've added a few more on since then, just trying and testing out for this video. So if we now say, well, site 1, site 2 is no good, we want to make that specific for my site or for my department, so then we're going to have to change that specifically. So if we go into the tables for drop down data list, tables for drop down list data, we can highlight a cell anywhere within that remit, and we can then say, let's say one of your sites is let's say Whitwell, Chesterfield. You'll notice that these are some that I used in the original video, and that's deliberate, so you've got a good reference. But some of you might say, oh, I've got a site in Birmingham, I've got a site in Coventry, etc, etc, etc. So we've now put a list in there, and on the top of there you can just put sites list, and you can actually change that to whatever, you know, put that in there whatever you want. It might be engineering, it might be HR, it might be office, it can be whatever it is you want it to highlight. So then let's go to risk assessment log. We want to change this now to mirror those sites that we just put in there. So the quickest way to delete anything in all cells that have got information that you want to delete in drop down lists is to go to an empty cell, go to the bottom right hand corner, click and hold, and drag it right up to the top, and that will clear out all the cells, but it won't take out the drop down option. Okay, so now we're going to click on the top of those cells, the first one that we want to change, and then I'm going to go to this tab up here, which is data. So you click on the data tab, and then you go over to the data tools, and you'll see this tick box and like a no entry site, and that is your data validation for your drop down list. So you just click on the center of that, and it'll say list, ignore blanks, in cell drop down. So if we want it to be in cell drop down, which we do because we've got the arrow at the side of it, that's ticked on there. And if you ignore blanks, it will just take out if you select cells that have got more than the information in and there's some blank ones, you can just click that and it'll ignore them. But it can be, I tend to select one or two past that just in case I add any later. So right, in the source, that is where it's going to telling you where it's getting the information from for these drop down boxes. We want to change that now to a companies we've just put in. So we just click on that arrow and it'll take you to the original selection. Okay, so we don't want to change that now and just go to here. So we're just going to select those 4 sites. So, and the way you do that is just select the first one and then just drag it down. Click your left click and hold and drag down, and it will select the whole of those 4 sites. Then you just press enter, and then you can click apply to these changes to all other cells within the same settings. Don't worry if you do it and that doesn't give you that option, because you can still drag it down to mirror the other side, other cells. So now if we go into here, we've said right, so general office cleaning, we can say, oh, that's at our Coventry site. So you just right click and then you see Coventry, and it's set Coventry there. And you'll notice you can only select, because we said ignore blank cells, you can only select the 4 sites that's in there, which is useful if you've got other people using this page for you, or you just don't want to keep typing it out day in day out for different things. So you can select it and leave it at that. If they're all for Coventry, then you could just hold the right hand corner, click and hold and drag it down, and it will select them without deleting any formula. So you can say the next one, let's say that is Chesterfield, and that one is Whitwell, and let's say we've just done that one for Birmingham. Okay, so straight away we've now got those sites there. So to go a little bit further than that, we're just going to highlight cells depending on the content. So if you've got a company where certain departments or certain sites are color coordinated, i.e. you have a different color to recognize that company, then this is where you will change that in here with the conditional formatting. So to conditionally format anything, if we go to our home tab, go right over 2/3 the way across, and you'll see a tab that says conditional formatting. So you click on that, then we want highlight cell rules, go across and then go down to text that contains. Okay, and you click that, and then it's now saying, it's because we've already got that site selected, it's put it in already, and it's telling us, it's giving us an option. We might want to change that. So if you want to change that, and the default colors in Excel are not that great actually, so we're going to go custom format, and that will open up the format cells dialog box. So if you want the change to the fill-in background, this is the background behind the lettering, and we want to change that to, let's say, that color. Okay, so we click that. You might want to go into your font and highlight that as well, just to make it bold so it stands out a bit better. And you can change the color in that as well. You know, you would do that here if you wanted to change the color of your text, i.e. we could do it black. It is black already by default, so you click OK, and you see it's done that already, so you click OK again, and that's done. So now you can go back in. There is a quick way of doing all of them, but I'm doing it one by one, just so that for those of you that are not familiar with Excel can think, oh yeah, I didn't quite catch it, you'll get it the next time. So now we're going to select cell, we're going to select Whitwell. Okay, so you could click that cell and it'll put the formula in there. You take that out and just type in the site Whitwell. You do have to be careful that you spell it the same in here as in there, or else it won't recognise it, because it's only looking for that particular word you've got in there. Okay, so then you go back down here, go back to your format cell again, and you click that. It'll open it up, and the fill for this one is going to be, let's say, well, that's because we've already got that on the tab, we'll change it to a different one, that one. Okay, then you click OK, done. Okay, and you'll see that, well, you just set that and it hasn't changed that Whitwell. And the reason for that is we've got to tell it what it applies to. So we're just going to do another one, highlight cells, text that contains, and we'll say this time it's we'll do Chesterfield. So you delete that, type in Chesterfield, and we're going to do that one, say green. Okay, so and then OK again. Now you go back into make that apply to all them cells. You then just go into highlight cell rules, top bottom rules, go down to the bottom where it says manage rules, click on that, and it will show you either for the current selection or for the whole page. So we don't want it just for that current selection, we want it for the whole worksheet. So we'll just click on that, and then you'll see cell value contains Chesterfield, change it to green with black text, and that applies to B3. Okay, so you see in B3 it's only applying to that cell. What we want to do there then is just click at the end of that, delete it right to the end. Don't worry, you're not going to change anything. Click on the first cell of your drop down list and then just drag it down to where you want it to apply to. So you would just keep going down as far as you wanted, but we're going to say there. Okay, and because we want it to be the same for the Whitwell site and the Coventry site, we're going to now select the whole of that formula, copy it, and then we're going to go down into these cells. So any cells that you want to have the same criteria, same formula, you just take out the default one and put in your new one that it's automatically created. Then you click apply, and you see apply, it's changed it already. OK, and there you are. So now we've got, that's Coventry site. You might want to change that now to Chesterfield. Change it to Chesterfield and it will change it to the colour accordingly. And then if you want to go down to Birmingham, it will change that accordingly. We haven't set one for Birmingham, so that's why it's blank, but we can put that right here. We go to conditional formatting, highlight cells, text that contains, and we can put Birmingham, and then we can change it. We'll format again, custom format, and we'll say we're going to do that one that colour, like an olive brown. Okay, so then we're just going to go back in and check the rules to make sure that that's still valid for that one and not just that one cell, and you can see straight away it's not. So you can backspace, paste in that formula that you copied earlier, apply, OK, done. Quick and as easy as that. Okay, so now we'll do Chesterfield there, we'll do Whitwell there, and we'll do Birmingham there. And you see, because we only went to as far as there, it doesn't recognise it for that cell. But if we drag that up, it would for that one. Click Birmingham. You see, it hasn't done it, so I didn't drag that far enough down. So I'm sure if I go to that one, it will change it. So I only went as far down, didn't do the last one. But you get the drift, you drag it down as far as you want. But to change the rules, if you think, well, I want to change it down, I didn't see how I did that. Then go back into conditional formatting, manage rules. You want the current selection or the current, if you, in fact I'll show you that one. If you then select those cells and then go into conditional formatting, manage rules, where it says current selection, it's only going to be looking at the selection you just set, and you can see that we're only going down from B3 to B17. So cell B3 is B, column B, row 3, which is that one, and we want it now to include these two sites here, so we can change it down to 19, but you can drag it right down to 1001 if you want. The quickest way to do that is just to delete the last number and just put in the 19, and do that on all the cells that it applies to. Okay. Yeah, but the only thing to be careful of is if you might have other conditional formattings for the same cell data set within the same cell, so you need to make sure that it is actually the ones you're looking at. So you then click apply, OK, and now you've selected it for there. Okay, so any sites within them cells you change, it will automatically highlight it. Okay, so that's how it begins to make it look colourful. You can just change that. Let's put that one back in for I don't know, Coventry. There you go. And there's one there missing as well, so we'll put that one in for Whitwell. And there you go. Change that one just to break up the colours. There you are. So I hope there, guys, that you can see that straight away that's how you automatically and quickly change where the drop down lists are, what it's selecting, and personalizing for your site, the sites that you want to do. I tend to just put a quick header at the top of them just so I know which one it's referring to. You could actually say site lists risk assessments, so straight away I will then know that, oh, that's because I've got site lists but different sites for different criteria. So this is just for risk assessments. You can just put it below, and then of course you can just tidy it back up and select all borders, and it will highlight that. And if you want to, just go into format that if it looks a bit untidy, which most of mine does, I admit. So you want to change that, and then we're going to click on merge cells. Okay, so that will then just do that. Sorry, I've done merge cells. I didn't want to do that. What I wanted to do was format cells, wrap text, and then that will wrap it there. Okay, so that's site list risk assessments. Okay, so I hope you're finding it useful. If there is something in particular that you're trying to change within this dashboard and you're not sure how to do it, and you don't want to spend out, because let me tell you, I once deleted a formula but in error, which screwed the whole system up for that particular aspect. And when I realized what I'd done, and what I did do is I had auto save on there, as you can see up there. It's off now, but it was on, so periodically it will auto save what you're doing. So if you made a mistake and it auto saves, then it saved it over your original document. So if you're doing any changes, my advice would be to rename your worksheet into something like company health and safety monitoring system testing, or amending something, just to make sure that it's not actually changing your main one. But don't worry if you screw it up altogether and you think I've lost all this, I don't know where I am with it, I need to start again. Then if you haven't got the original spreadsheet in the email, just let me know and I'll resend it out to you. Okay guys, so if there's anything you need, just let me know, and as always, I hope you learnt something, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.